used to be, but I'm going to give you a couple stats. So I've been on LinkedIn for the last 19 months. I started posting in 2022, May 2022. Since then, I've accumulated about 13 million impressions over the last 365 days. I'm currently ranked as #2 creator in the UK on LinkedIn, #1 female creator in the world. I've been featured in Forbes 3 times just because I started posting on LinkedIn. There's absolutely nothing special to my story. I'm literally like all of you, if not probably less smart than some of you doing engineering degrees and stuff. So if I can do it, you can do it too. Now, here's my profile, almost at 130k, just because I posted shit on LinkedIn and then it kind of worked. And it all started, it's not doing, but it all started from my little room, like 2 minutes away from here in Exeter. That was my office. That's where I recorded all my videos for clients, how I closed my first $10,000 in 1 month, how I landed $100,000 overall in revenue. And I've also got a track record of building in other platforms like Twitter, newsletter, YouTube. I am currently one of the fastest growing social media accounts on YouTube, which is kind of hard to crack. So again, if I could do it, all of you can do it too. So what we're going to do today, I'm not going to give you the typical spiel that I give my clients on how to optimize your LinkedIn profile, because if you're all action takers, you can probably go to my YouTube and find how to do that yourselves, which the good ones, you probably already saw on YouTube and optimize your profile. So I'm not going to teach you that because I don't want to waste my time and I don't want to waste your time. So I'm going to give you being a student is literally your biggest advantage that you have. How I made my first $10,000 in 1 month, and then how to become the actual entrepreneur you want to be. I want to cut the bullshit, I want to cut the fluff, because that's literally not what you need. You've got plenty of educational content out here. You've got so much research that you probably read every single day. So I'm actually going to get straight down to the facts, okay? So one thing that I carry with me since my A-levels in economics is there is no such thing as free lunch. You either pay with your time, you build a service-based agency business, or you pay with your money, or you pay with your time. So you can pay with your money by hiring me. I'm about $1,000 an hour, all for you, free today, or you pay with your time to listen to me. I want you to treat this like you're paying me $1,000 for my time, because the information I'm about to give you costs something. But if you don't take action on it, it's not going to do anything. So the ones that take action on one single thing I say today could literally change your life like it did to me. Now, why being a student is your biggest advantage? You have 3 things right now. You have time, you have resources, and you have skills. Time, you have time to spend researching, time to build your personal brand on social media and on LinkedIn or any platform that you want, or time networking. I kind of built my entire business based off networking connections, and I'm going to teach you that in a minute. And you have resources. You can use your assignments that you're having at uni, taking them and implementing them into LinkedIn content. That's how I started posting on LinkedIn. I didn't have anything to talk about. I literally didn't know what I was doing, but I took my assignments from university and I started talking about them on LinkedIn. People started to like it, and I was like, okay, there's something here. And then you can use them to help other people win as well. And then you have skills. You can talk about what you're doing right now based on what you want to do in the future. So if you're studying computer science and you want to get into personal branding, but you don't know what to talk about on LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, you can kind of tie it in with, you can talk about tech tools that could help someone accelerate their social media copywriting with AI. Because that ties in directly to what you're doing. So you need to be clever about what you're talking about. Think about viral topics that are going on social media, and then tie them back into what you're consistently learning. The more you educate people on what you're learning, the better you get yourself at teaching it and implementing it. It's a win-win for everyone. You gain authority on LinkedIn, and people respect you. This is how you stand out as a student. People are so tired, especially the older generations, of all this bullshit that there's online. Everybody seems to be an expert. You don't have to be an expert to make a difference. You just have to be interested enough in doing something right. You don't have to be an expert. I don't call myself an expert either. Like, I don't know. I just do things online. It kind of works, and I'm going with it. But if you if you think about all the time about how much experience you need to have to do something, stop right there. All of you right now have enough experience to make money online, to make an impact, to build a personal brand, to go viral. So if that's stopping you from building a personal brand, I want you to forget about it and just actually go ahead and start posting content. The second thing is time. So you guys have the luxury, and I had it, that's how I built the entire business. I had so much time. I had, 5 hours of lectures a day, then everything else I could dedicate to sport and business. So being a student is the biggest unfair advantage that you could have because people aren't looking at you yet. So when you come at them, being like, oh, I'm a student, but I've also done this, I've also done that, and I've also done that, they respect you. So I want you to take the time, if you haven't already, to start networking with people, go to networking events in London, log on to LinkedIn, post content at least once a day. LinkedIn just hit 1 billion users, but only 3% are posting content weekly, right? So to get into the top 1% of creators on LinkedIn, you only need to post 1 time a week. You could never do that on Instagram, you could never do that on YouTube, you could never do that on TikTok. LinkedIn is the best way to start a business, a personal brand, and to make impact and get funding, money, or whatever. So network, build your skill stack, and grow 10 times faster. I've seen a few of you that are, students building a business and learning all the skills like, Adobe, Premiere, Photoshop, etc. The more skills you can learn, the better in the end for you as an entrepreneur. For me, I'm really good at copywriting, but I'm also good at strategy, I'm also good at video, I'm also good at Photoshop. That's how you build $1 million skill stack. You kind of build up on things until you become the only person people want to approach, right? I'm good at public speaking, I do that now. I'm good at copywriting, I did that for my clients. I'm good at strategy, I did that for myself. And now, when people think about personal branding, they think of me, not everyone else. So think about all those interests that you have, how can you monetize them, right? You build one thing, and then on top of the other, and then on top of the other. It's not that hard, and you can also pursue your curiosity. What are you interested in learning, and how can you monetize it, and how can you make yourself useful to someone else doing something you love? So, my secret framework, I used to hit my first $10,000 a month. Now, this is not a system, this is not something so complicated, it was actually quite simple. I call it the fuck around, find out matrix. People dumber than you are making millions, literally. I saw that for myself. And this was actually the triggering point for me to start a business. I saw, 2 years ago, May 2022, I saw one of my friends who was doing sports science. She all of a sudden came out with a marketing agency. I was like, yeah? What do you mean? I have 3 years of marketing experience and you're building an agency? What do you mean? So then, out of that spite, I went ahead and built my own marketing agency because I realized that you don't have to be an expert to do the thing that you want to be doing. You just have to have the courage to actually go ahead and do it. The more you throw stuff at a wall, the one thing will stick. And the more you get out there, and the more you try things out, the faster you'll get there. So, how do you use the find out, fuck around matrix? You find people who've done what you want to do. So you have me today, you can ask me questions, and I can give you all the hacks, and I can give you all the tools. You can find mentors, you can go on LinkedIn, and find CEOs that have done everything that you want to do, and ask them questions. I love LinkedIn because it gave me access to the right connections, access to the right network, and access to the right people. If you're an entrepreneur right now, you probably feel like your friends don't get you, your family doesn't get you, no one else understands why you're so passionate about this thing that no one gets, and maybe some of you are avoiding going out, maybe some of you are neglecting your friends because you're so into what you're building, that's fine. LinkedIn is filled with people chasing the same objectives. So you find friends, you find millionaire friends as well. My first mentor, he found me because I was posting on LinkedIn. That mentor has made me so much money based on referrals just because I posted on LinkedIn and I followed his advice. He never charged me anything. He's still my mentor, and he's giving me all the tools to learn how to sell people, how to network correctly, how to get into international keynote speaking events. He landed me my Dubai trip. I got an all-paid flight there to speak, just because I made the right connection. So LinkedIn is not just for virality, LinkedIn is not just for growth, it's also for the connections. If you think about it, it's the richest platform we have. Like, there's CEOs right, like, one connection away. And that single connection could change your life like it did to me. Second thing, treat it like a game, not a science. A lot of people overcomplicate business. You need to stop overcomplicating and just do the next thing. One thing I didn't enjoy about university and why I didn't like school as much, you consistently learn things. You learn, that's it. There's no test in real life. The thing with entrepreneurship is that we expect to be tested on our knowledge at the end of the year. No one's going to test you. Every day is a single test for you to keep on going. So every single thing you learn on YouTube, on like a lecture, or like someone, or like keynote speech, you need to go and implement it immediately. Otherwise you'll forget. Otherwise the thought won't be as clear as it is today. And you won't get ahead. Like, you need to act quickly. The single biggest thing that entrepreneurs have in common that I've seen in my generation, we all just took action on whatever we learned. How long did it take me to get here? 5 days. Hey Lara, do you want to come here? Yeah, okay, 5 days in, I'm here. It doesn't, don't delay everything just because you're not sure. Like, I didn't know what I was going to talk about today, but I just did it. That's the thing that gets you going. That's the needle mover. It's not the skills, it's not the education, it's not the certificate, it's you. And how much you're able to commit to your purpose in growing. Now, the last thing, stop looking for advice. I was an entrepreneur for so long. I read the 52 books in 52 weeks, every single one. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Alchemist, all Grant Cardone's books, Simon Sinek, all of them. I learned absolutely nothing from them. The one thing, I took one book and I learned one thing and I implemented it, and that's the thing that changed everything. It's not about reading the books, it's not about the education that you have, it's about you, again. Now, the last thing, how to make it as an entrepreneur. And this is the biggest lesson that I want you guys to take. Focus on the rule of one. One person, one problem, one solution, one platform. So many people are overthinking about what platform should I be? Should I be on TikTok? Should I be on Instagram? Should I be on LinkedIn at the same time? Oh my God, my repurposing strategy needs to be this. I need to be here. I need to be going there. No. The reason why I've been able to grow so quickly from 0 to 100K in revenue in less than 2 years, why I was able to build my personal brand to 130,000 followers on LinkedIn, and why I've been able to grow on every other social media platform as a result, was because I focused on the one thing that was going to make a difference. That was my service-based agency, focusing on my ICP, which was like very rich founders that had enough money to pay me a really large retainer. That's also key. A solution, I was able to grow them on social media, get amazing testimonials, and then one platform. My platform of choice was LinkedIn. If your platform of choice is Instagram, that's fine. If your platform of choice is TikTok, that's also fine. But just focus on one thing at the one time. Avoid shiny object syndrome like the plague. It's the worst thing that could happen to any entrepreneur. Hey, someone's building a community. Hey, someone has an agency. Hey, that person's doing dropshipping. Oh, I heard that that's the next big thing. No, everything is everything is the next big thing. But focusing on you is what's going to keep you growing the most. Dropshipping is so in demand right now. Everything else is so in demand. TikTok agencies are so in demand, but what you're doing is also in demand. I also want you to think about, there's no such thing as a saturated niche, okay? If you're good at what you do, you'll stand out. Dropshipping is saturated. I'm seeing people grow into dropshipping anyway because they're doing it better than everyone else. So don't focus on being the best, focus on being the only. Again, back to the skill stack that I mentioned. The more skills you are able to stack in your portfolio of knowledge, the better for you. The more difference you can make, okay? Master focus. So at university, what I did is I neglected my social life for 6 months, just because I knew that my purpose was so big that I needed just to focus and cut the noise. Okay, so I didn't go out, I kind of neglected my social life, and that's fine. I focused on the one thing and now I'm here. Now I'm able to come back and do this talk with you because I truly committed to growing. Sometimes good things take sacrifice. And I hope you guys know that, because to grow to the extent that you want to grow, sacrifice is needed. I'm not gonna say it's not, like it cost me a lot of time with my family, time with my friends, but now I can give 10 times more back to them. I can build better relationships, and personally, I feel so much better. I'm a better friend, I'm a better, person, I'm a better educator, just because I took those 6 months, focused a lot, and then grew. Questions?
I'll kick off. When times get tough, because I know a lot of people in this room have their own businesses, how did you keep yourself motivated?
Sometimes I learned this at the gym. I'm a professional powerlifter, by the way. I learned this at the gym, and it's not about motivation, it's about consistency. Like, who is an athlete here? Anyone that is do sports? Okay, you guys know that if you don't want to train, you still have to go and train. Like, it doesn't matter about how motivated you are, it's about how much you want it at the end. Motivation comes and goes, but your purpose is still the same. So also, if you're facing burnout, it probably means that either you're not chasing the right thing, or you don't know what you're doing yet, quite yet, and why you're doing it. If the why is powerful, the how is easy, right? So think about why you're doing the things you're doing when you're tired and you don't have any motivation. Any more questions?
So, hi. So what did you, wait, so did you have like family members who were against what you were doing? Were they doubting you, and what did you say to them? Did you ignore or convince?
So my family was very supportive, but they also don't know what I do. So it was kind of still a weird conversation to have. A lot of my friends were against what I was doing. I think when you're trying to separate your university self and your business self, people look at you like, what the fuck are you doing? Oh, that's so embarrassing, that's so cringy. You know what? Business is so cringy. Posting on social media is so cringy. But then when you get from the mountain, there's like a cringe mountain. I like to think about cringe, successful. Okay, and then there's like the middle part where you're like, okay, I'm getting there. No one likes to be seen trying. So when you're just going for it, people are going to be like, but she wasn't like this. Like, he wasn't like that. Like, since when do you do that? When were you interested in this? But just ignore the noise. Like, who are they to judge you? Like, what, are they doing what you want to do? Probably not. You should only be taking advice from people who are doing more than you or what you want to do. Everyone else doesn't matter.
On LinkedIn, is there a specific type of content which gets the most engagement, like on Instagram, maybe it's reels or?
Yes, so the most engaged content is education, so how-tos, step-by-steps, carousels. LinkedIn is shifting into a very much visual platform, like Instagram, following Instagram and TikTok. So the more simple you can make something, the better for you. If you're able to educate in a way that's different, creative, you're going to win LinkedIn. Again, LinkedIn is filled with old people, with boomers, and you're making a difference by implementing the creativity and the efficiency. We as Gen Zs, millennials, whatever you guys are, I'm a Gen Z. I'm bored. Like, I don't want the fluff. I'm tired from university reading long research articles. I want quick information, easy to read, easy to consume. And then the older generations appreciate that because they're like, I didn't have to read a 20-hour-long article to find this one simple answer. So the more you're able to simplify something, you win. People love case studies as well. If you're using a brand to your advantage, that's also good. What I did at the start to grow my brand was actually I kind of leveraged people's authority. So if you don't have any authority on anything yet, you can leverage me, for example, and be like, this is what I learned from Lara Acosta. Why is this going to work for you? Because I have a following online. That gives me some push. If I like your content, people are gonna be like, oh, okay, she liked it. That means I like it. It's called the halo effect. It's a cognitive bias. So the more you're able to kind of like put that together, the more you'll be able to grow on LinkedIn. It's also like IKEA. People like, there's the IKEA effect. People like their IKEA products the most because they built them. So if it's IKEA, people will be like, oh my god, that's IKEA. Same thing. So you can talk about people that you know, like maybe Stephen Bartlett, for example. If you do a case study on Stephen Bartlett, here's 5 reasons why Stephen Bartlett does things very well. Then people are going to be like, oh, I like Stephen Bartlett, I like this, follow you. Then if you keep on producing good content, then they'll stay and they'll like you, and then the more you'll be able to grow your authority. Okay, hi.
So, hi, how do you turn, like, something you did, like an achievement, and you want to post it on LinkedIn, how do you turn that into something that people actually care about when they read?
Right. Yeah, it's a good question. There's like a big problem with LinkedIn virtue signaling.
Yeah.
And it's also kind of cringy. Like none of you want to talk about your achievements because it looks like bragging, right? I have this really good framework. It's called the Slay framework. I've got 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds saying Slay on LinkedIn. That's kind of cool. But it's called Slay because you start with a story. So this last year I graduated from Acosta University. I was able to get my dream position at KPMG. And then you do the story, then you do the lesson. Here's 5 things I learned while I was at Acosta University. You give the information, and then you're turning the story into tactical information for someone else to learn from. So you're not talking about yourself anymore. You're giving them context to be attached to you from the story. You're building that connection emotionally. Then you're leading with a lesson, then you go in with actionable advice. So if I was a student today, here's what I would do to get a job at KPMG. So then you bullet point again what you would do if you were a student, and then you end with a you. So turn it back to them. How would you feel if you went back to university today in 2024? And that's it. Here's how you take the cringe out of your own stories and your own success. Don't be scared of sharing your own success because people on LinkedIn are so compassionate. There's so much love. People want to see you win, but they also want to learn. LinkedIn is an educational platform to start with. So the more you're able to educate people on something, the more trust you will be able to create with your audience. Personal branding is basically like networking at scale, connections at scale. So you need to be trusted, liked, and known. To be liked, you need to be telling stories. You storytell a lot, but you do it from a selfless position where it's not about you, it's about them. Always, always. Cool.
You mentioned about networking in London. Are there any particular events that you would say are quite worthwhile?
There's no particular event I went to. I just went on LinkedIn, and whatever networking events I found, I would go to. Every single weekend, you would find me taking a 3-hour train ride to London and back. So it's more about just building those connections across the industry. You never know which one is going to make a difference for you. And then based on that, I built a very large network, because when you're networking with so many different types of people, they'll remember you when you're doing something, and then they'll like your content. And then it creates this like snowball effect onto your brand.
So this might be a silly question, but I'm gonna ask it. So I like to keep a diary, right? Every day I keep a diary. And so, what do you say it would be effective if I try to use LinkedIn as a platform where I can share my thoughts, my failures, my mistakes, my successes?
Yeah, of course, you should do it. It's called, right now, the cool people in the tech industry, they call it building in public. So every day you can keep a diary of what went wrong and what went right in your business and your life. People love following the rags to riches. Who here is familiar with Imangaji?
Yeah.
Does anyone? Yeah. So that's literally how he built his entire personal brand. He literally built in public, and now people trust him the most, and he's very loved in the industry, but because he did that. But there's also the thing where you have to, if you're sharing your successes, please also share your failures.
Yeah.
People want to see the real things. I built my authority because I also shared how many fuck-ups I had. I shared, one of my most viral posts talked about how I got fired by a client and how I fired clients, because no one talks about that. Everybody's like, I'm so happy that and proud that I got accepted to my new job, or I just did this amazing thing. No one talks about the low, and entrepreneurs want to follow that. There's this really cool entrepreneur called Matt Kelly. He's founder of Space Gods. You guys should follow him. He talks about everything. So that's how you build in public in real life. You talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I definitely recommend it. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
You mentioned about following people. Are there 5 LinkedIn creators that we should all be following just to see what they're doing?
So me, Lara Acosta on LinkedIn, if you guys haven't followed me. There's this guy called Justin Welsh, Jasmine Alec as well, he's one of my good friends. But I think it depends on the industry you're in and also who you are. But if you go on LinkedIn for 5 minutes, you'll find all the top creators, because LinkedIn is very small. So just follow who you find suited. If you follow me, you'll probably get recommended a bunch of people anyway. But Justin Welsh, Jasmine Alec, Vicky Bush, who else? There's this guy called Luke Matthews. They're all in personal branding. So if you're in personal branding, that'll be good for you. But if you're in something else, maybe not. But they're so easy to find. And the best thing as well, there's so many entrepreneurs on LinkedIn. Everybody's trying to do their own thing. There's a lot of like up and coming founders. I know one of my friends, Niall Cleaver, he's building this brand called Hopsley from scratch. So he's sharing his journey as he goes along, which is very interesting, going to the factories, going to all of this. So there's someone for everyone here. So just go on the platform for 10 minutes a day. Time block it for 10 minutes a day. That's what I do. If you look at my calendar, I have LinkedIn time block for 30 minutes minimum, just so I have the habit. I've had it for 2 years now. I still have it on my calendar. So if you're serious about building your personal brand or your LinkedIn, time block those 30 minutes. It'll make such a big difference.
I'm interested. A year ago or a couple of years ago from now, did you have a vision that this could work out for you in the way that it did? And when did you decide to go full on and properly invest in it as a career?
I didn't know. I think that's why I've been able to grow so fast, because I had no expectation. I just wanted to have fun on the internet. Half of my job now is posting memes, by the way. Like, I literally send memes to my clients and they're like, oh, good, half money. Like, it's literally that. That's literally what I do all day. I'm not even kidding. And I found something that fun, like, work is play. So once you kind of figure out how you can tie in what you love doing with money making, you're like into the jackpot. So I didn't know. I had no expectation. For the first 3-4 months I was on LinkedIn, I wasn't selling anything. I was just trying to, vibe, see what's up on LinkedIn, like what's everyone talking about here, and then just learn stuff in public. I was going to uni, kind of like was really bored, posted about LinkedIn stuff. People liked the LinkedIn stuff I was talking about. I was building in public, learning something, posting about it, learning something, posting about it, and then I saw opportunity. People were like, are you monetizing this yet? And I was like, no, you can make money on LinkedIn. And then they were like, yeah. And then I started building the agency, which was cool.
Why LinkedIn, not Instagram or TikTok?
So, hopefully none of you have seen my podcast because I literally say this story all the time, but I actually deleted my LinkedIn like 2 years ago. I hated LinkedIn so much. It was so cringy, it was so stupid, it was filled with like my old friends from uni that were doing so much better than me. And then I needed a referral to get into uni. So guess what? I didn't even know my lecturer's emails. So I had to come back onto LinkedIn and rebuild my platform. And I was like, okay, I need to kind of make this look good because I don't think they'll remember me because I wasn't a star student. So I was like, okay. So I went on YouTube and I watched a Gary Vee keynote speech for 2 hours. And he was like, LinkedIn is the next big thing. You guys have to get on it. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna listen to the man because I didn't listen to him with TikTok. And I was like, okay, he kind of knows what he's talking about, I guess. And then I went from there. I posted content 3 times a week for 3 months, and then we're here. That's fine.
Do you think you need to hit a milestone or have some sort of mental achievement in order to start monetizing LinkedIn?
It depends on what you're doing. I waited until I felt comfortable knowing what I was doing. So I wanted to do personal branding on LinkedIn. I didn't feel comfortable selling personal branding services if I couldn't build my personal brand first. So if you don't have any experience or testimonials or case studies, your best testimonial is you. Your own best case study. So until you're doing what you say you can do, or you've done it for someone else, start monetizing it. But before, just do it for free until you get the case studies. Then you can leverage that and charge more. Then you can leverage that again and charge even more. So I started selling personal branding services for $300 per month. I was doing a lot of things for $300, but then I got amazing testimonial. I upped my price to $1,000, then I upped it again to $2,000, then I upped it again to $3,000, and that's it. But it was based on those testimonials and social proof. You have a question?
Yeah. With regards to the content itself, do you experience a trade back in quantity versus quality?
Yeah, so Gary Vee usually says quantity over quality. I am very against that on LinkedIn especially, or any other platform, because often when you're focused on posting 7 times a week on LinkedIn or any other platform, you focus on just getting it done, and there's nothing there. There's like, oh, it's a shit, the hook is shit, the meat is shit, the call to action is average. You're not actually making an effort to produce something that is worth reading. So when you're posting content, I want you guys to think of this thing called the content racer. I saw it in a Chris Williams episode of his podcast. Would you consume the content that you're posting online? Probably not. 99% of people post content just to post, but they don't post content that they would actually consume. I see this a lot with people posting Canva templates, the carousels on Instagram. They go on Canva, they make a carousel from a basic template, they just add in a couple words, and then that's it. That's their one post of the day done. On to the next one. There's no actual purpose, there's no storytelling, there's no education, and there's no real impact. So focus on quality first and then quantity. Master quality content and then produce masses of quantity. When I started on LinkedIn, I posted 3 to 5 times a week. That was fine. And now I'm able to post like everywhere on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, email, because I have that quality content that is proven to work, and now I can repurpose it onto more.
You talk posting. What about the commenting game? Because I think there's a big opportunity in the commenting game. It's a bit scary posting a couple of times a week, but commenting, you can do that and build game, can't you?
Okay, so before I answer this question, how many of you are on LinkedIn right now? Okay, how many of you are posting content weekly? Okay, nice. So, right, so why? Why are you not posting content on LinkedIn? Yeah.
I deleted the app.
Oh, same to that. So I delete that every day. Okay, why are you not posting content on LinkedIn?
I want to, but always I tell next week I'll do it and then I forget.
Why are you not posting content on LinkedIn?
Embarrassing.
Right. Okay, so talking about commenting might be a little bit premature, but if it's cringy to you to post content, if you have so many of your uni friends are gonna be like, oh, what the fuck is he talking about? Then the best way to actually build a following without even posting anything is commenting. What he's talking about is something I talk about quite a lot. Commenting is the best way to network. LinkedIn is a networking platform as in its essence. At its core, it's a networking platform. That's how it started. So if you want to grow without posting, you can actually do it by commenting. Find 10 people that are interesting to you. The best entry that I can give you is me. Go to my LinkedIn, go to my comment section, and find people that just resonate with you. Maybe you like their profile picture, maybe they have a cool headline, maybe they have a cool whatever, they left a funny comment. Follow them, and then engage with them every single day. What do I mean by engaging? Comment on their content every single day. This is how you make a relationship with someone that you don't know, and that could give you some leverage in the future. You're treating LinkedIn like a real networking event, right? You can only post once on LinkedIn. You can comment 100 times. That accelerates your impact 10 times more because you're being seen everywhere. A reason why I grew so fast as well is because I was everywhere at the same time. No one could not know who I was because I was literally like, I'm here, hi. I was in places I shouldn't be. The founders of technology companies, I was there talking about I don't know what. I was posting memes. I was literally posting memes. I was out here with the bootstrap founders of this new SaaS product that I had no idea they were talking about. I was there. I was agreeing with their content. I had no idea what they were talking about, but I was like, yeah, that's cool. And then I was with students that also had no idea what they were talking about, and I was like, yeah, I get you. I don't know what we're talking about. And then with that, you build solid, you're being seen, you're being known, and then you start, when the right moment comes to post content, people kind of already have that rapport built with you. They already know you. They already kind of have that resonance. Oh, it's that guy that left that funny comment 2 weeks ago on that guy's content. I'm gonna go like it. Again, marketing is all about psychology. It's not about hacks. It's not about tricks. It's about psychology. Study cognitive biases. Study reciprocity bias. And if there's one book I can recommend you guys to read, Influence by Robert Cialdini. Who has read it? Here, you. Okay, obviously you. If you guys haven't read that book taught me more than the 4-year marketing degree that I took here. So If there's one thing you do immediately, read that book, it'll change your life, apply everything that you learn immediately, and then do it on LinkedIn. The best way to build relationships is through understanding that people buy from people they like. The more likable you become to your ideal target audience, the better. Cool.
How do you align your LinkedIn strategy with your business strategy, business objectives?
What do you mean by that?
Actually, if you have like your business see growing in like coming 5 to 10 years, like how LinkedIn help to achieve that objectives?
So my business objectives and my personal brand objectives were very similar. But when you're building a personal brand, it's cohesive to your business, but it's also to you. LinkedIn is good for building your personal brand because you're talking about yourself. It's not about the goal that your business has. It's about the goal that you have for yourself. If you want to become an entrepreneur, you talk about entrepreneurship things. You talk about what you're doing in your business. That's one pillar. You should have 3 content pillars in your marketing strategy: your business, your personal brand, and that good skill that you have. So that's how you align yourself with LinkedIn. Don't worry too much about merging your business strategy and your personal branding strategy. Just focus, like he said, on treating your LinkedIn like a diary almost. Talk about your business, talk about what you're doing. If you're at uni, talk about being a student, and then talk about, if you're a copywriter, or you're learning copywriting, talk about that as well. What are you learning? What are the best things that you found? And how are you doing that?
In terms of connections, would you recommend that I accept everybody that requests me for a connection, or should I accept only those that I consider useful, or my friends?
So LinkedIn has this really cool thing called creator mode. It's automatically updated for everyone now. So when someone asks you as a connection request, they immediately become a follower. So you can be very picky on who you pick to connect with. So if it's someone that has no relevance to you, don't accept them, just ignore them and just keep on going. The reason why you shouldn't accept everyone on LinkedIn is because if they are in a different niche, even for some of my ideal clients that I work with right now, I'm not even connected with them because I know they won't engage with my content. 99% of people on LinkedIn are lurking. They aren't engaging with content. They aren't doing anything. Like out of 8 out of 10 of my best clients, they've never liked a post of mine. They've never messaged me. They've never interacted with me, but they bought from me. And the reason why I didn't accept them was because I knew that. When you accept people that have nothing to do with you, they won't engage with your content, the algorithm will mark your content down because it looks like spam. So if you are in your feed, you see one post, you look at it, you don't engage with it, LinkedIn marks it as irrelevant. If there's a lot of people doing that to your post, then it gets pushed down and it won't get any likes. So you need to be very careful of who you accept because it could potentially ruin your impressions on LinkedIn.
Did you have a breakthrough moment?
Yeah, I went viral. My first post went viral on LinkedIn. It's my second viral post to date. So I had an unfair advantage and a lucky start. So if you guys want to know the formula to a viral post on your first go, just introduce yourself. Just talk about, hey, my name is X and I do Y, and here's why I'm on LinkedIn. The reason why that worked and why it worked for me at the time was because I was such an innocent little student trying to do stuff on LinkedIn. And all the people were like, oh, this is new. Because LinkedIn is filled with so much educational BS that no one reads. There's polls, there's videos that no one reads, there's articles. And then when you just come across as authentic, just trying to learn, just very curious, which all of you are as entrepreneurs, then the better for your brand in the end because people want to follow that. They truly connect with it. Even like entrepreneurs that are 40, 50, 60-year-olds, they look at your content and they're like, that was me. So the more you connect with people, the better. And my breakthrough moment was that. And then when I made my first online dollar, nothing will ever feel better than when I made my first dollar online. So that was my breakthrough moment.
And how did you get the confidence to charge your first dollar?
Very good question. I just kind of did it. I was like just following suit to what everybody was telling me to do. So I just didn't think about it. I posted I made my first dollar online with an online PDF on showing people how to grow on LinkedIn. That was like 3 months in. I didn't know what I was doing still. Like, I was like, okay. But I collected the posts that I posted on LinkedIn for the last 3 months. I put them all in a PDF. I sold it on Gumroad for $15, and then people bought it. Like people still to this day buy that. And okay, that's cool. So yeah, I think again back to just take action. If you see something that you like and it's easy enough to do, if it takes you less than 2 hours to do in one night, just do it.
Are there any specific or unusual metrics that you keep your eye out on while you're A/B testing to see how far or how well your post has done compared to a different post, and to see the kind of audience or the amount of audience it has reached?
Yeah, so okay, so I'm a creative, so I hate numbers. I don't look at numbers at all. I don't look at impressions. I don't look at views. Of course, I look at the numbers at the end. But if I focus, when I started focusing and tracking the impressions so closely, I became very obsessed with it in the bad way. So I was tracking the wrong thing, because when you're building your brand, you're building confidence in yourself, and you're also building authority and network. When you're looking at impressions, you're going to consistently chase what drives the impressions, but usually what makes the most sales or drives you the most following isn't the post that is doing well. It's the post that is doing okay, but it has some more comments, it has some more reshares, it has all the stuff. So right now, all of you, this question is fine, but what you should be focusing on is just testing consistently. Okay, I'm gonna test video content, I'm gonna test carousels, I'm gonna test text content, I'm gonna test infographics consistently for the next 3 months. Don't look at impressions, don't look at anything, just look at 2 things. If you're enjoying posting about it, and then if people are reacting, like how is your ideal audience reacting? Are you getting to the right places? Then after the first 3 months, okay, look at impressions, maybe look at how many followers you're getting per post. But only until recently I actually started counting and tracking my following count, because before then, I was just trying to have fun. If you're not having fun, and if it's not interesting to you, if it's not sparking your curiosity, you're gonna quit. And I find that when people chase numbers, they get either disappointed that they're not going viral, they get disappointed that they're not at 10K followers by Sunday, or that they aren't getting the leads that they want. So just focus on posting content every single day, test out everything, and then track numbers 3 months in. Cool.
Small question. As an entrepreneur, what's best for productivity and health? Do you reckon it's a morning routine or an evening routine?
Okay, good question. Who has a morning routine here? Okay, what time do you guys wake up? 6 a.m., 7 a.m.?
That's good. That's good.
4:59 a.m.
Why am I asking you?
Because he wakes up.
Early.
Okay, so 9 a.m.
4:59 a.m. 5 a.m. But the extra minute gives me a head start on the day.
Okay, great. That's really cool. Do you do yoga as well?
No,
Do you meditate and do
I meditate, yeah.
sauna?
No, I wish. Not there yet.
Okay.
This time next year.
Next thing
Yeah.
the committee.
Yeah.
So, I love that. I wish I was you, but I'm not. I try that. I think we're all very different. I actually spent a very heavy amount on a productivity coach this year. He told me one thing: you need to focus on the thing that makes you the most productive than everything else. When I tried to do the whole entire morning routine spiel, it just wasn't for me, because I'm just not naturally like that. If you're like that, that's fine. But don't focus on copying someone else's morning routine because you think they're successful and they're doing it. What drives you? I'm a night owl, so my morning routine looks quite different to yours. I actually wake up at 10 a.m. and then I go to sleep at 3 because I'm just more productive at night. A lot of my clients are in the US, so I kind of adapted to that. And for a while, I actually felt very guilty. Oh, I'm not waking up at 5 a.m. and meditating. I'm gonna actually go broke. Like, no. It was about, okay, what's working for me? Is the meditation in the morning really relevant to me? No. Maybe I can do the meditation in the evening, that's fine. But just focus on, okay, what do you enjoy doing? At what time do you feel the most productive? And when does your clock start ticking? Everyone here, one of you is probably good in the mornings, one of you probably starts waking up in the afternoon, probably some of you in the evening, that's fine. Just find that and then optimize for it. But you don't need a morning routine for it, it's kind of cool. I go to the saunas when I have cold showers, but I'm not as religious as I thought I should be with it. I'm more religious on, okay, am I getting 4 hours of deep work in every single day? Deep work is the best thing that you could do for your business productivity. If you're able to shut everything down for 4 hours, focus on that one task that's gonna move the needle for your business, just for 4 hours or even 2, you're on to a winner. I was doing 4 hours of deep work when I was at uni, and that really helped me just get everything going. Then I would do meetings in the evenings, and then I would do uni in the morning. Then gym for 2 hours in the evening if I had time. But yeah, you don't need a specific morning routine. Don't copy other people. That's one of the main things I learned this year. We always chase and post like shiny object syndrome. We always chase like what everyone else is doing. You don't need to do what everyone else is doing. You need to do what you think is good for you.
If you're a student, you don't really know what you want to do, you don't really know what you want to go into, but you're trying to build your personal brand, who is your ideal audience?
Your ideal audience is you. You 3 months ago. There's something you 3 months ago didn't know. That's what I did. I didn't have an ideal client. I didn't even know who I was going to sell. But I knew that Lara, like 3 months ago or even a year ago, would want to know, how to go viral on LinkedIn, or how to do X, or how to prepare for exams while building a business. So if you don't know who you're talking to, just teach to yourself back, like three months ago, 3 years ago, whatever. Because there's someone in your place then that would love to learn from you now. That's the best piece of advice I could actually give. Any more questions? Hi. You gonna post on LinkedIn? Today?
Not today. So you mentioned connecting with skills and using that to create authority and build your personal brand. What if your interests are quite different and you still want to have personal brand in different industries? How do you?
What are your interests?
Business, the business of fashion, farming, and politics.
And what do you want to go into business of? Like, what is the thing that's going to bring you money?
I want to go into the buying over of businesses. That's my main interest.
Okay, so I have many interests as well, and then we're all multifaceted. Like our generation is crazy good at everything, but you have to focus on that one thing that's going to drive the most attention to you and the most money. So if that thing, like probably marketing and buying things and just talking about it, that's the one thing you should focus on. And then your second pillar on LinkedIn should be your personal story. So, I do this very well, but I'm also really good at this and that, and it comes as a surprise, right? With Elon Musk, for example, he started building, he didn't start building cars, he was like this and that, for example. He was really good at one thing, and then he started doing this other thing, and then as a result, this other thing. You start jumping around, but you need to become an expert before you become a generalist. We see Stephen Bartlett. Do you guys know Stephen Bartlett? Obviously, yeah. So he has in his book, he talks about being a generalist and being a specialist. You become a specialist first and then a generalist after. With my personal brand, from 0 to 10,000 followers, I was an expert or like a specialist in marketing. I still didn't know what I was doing. And then up until like 80K, I started talking about mindset, entrepreneurship, my personal journey, just because by then I built enough goodwill in my following so they could identify me as that person that's really good at one thing. And then once you're perceived as being very good at one thing, people will think that you're very good at everything else. That's called the halo effect again, coming into bias. So do that with your personal brand, then talk about everything else. But you don't need to hide who you are or like what your other interests are. You just need to prioritize the one that's going to make the most impact. You're gonna put something to that? Yeah. Okay, cool. Amazing. Any more questions?
Quick one. You mentioned about focusing on you and what you would have liked to have heard or found out. What would you say, kind of coming into Exeter, as probably the biggest takeaways or piece of advice you could have given yourself back then, which would have maybe resonated or sped up the journey?
So I learned in Acosta.
Before you came to Exeter, what do you wish you could have known?
People don't know that you're making more money just because they're dumb enough to know how easy it is to take action. Like, that is the one thing I took with me. That's the reason why I came to university in the first place, to buy myself some time for my master's. And then I realized that time is everything. And people that are unemployed right now who just graduated business school, they don't have time. You guys have time, and time is leverage. When you're able to pay with your time, by being a student, educating yourself consistently, watching YouTube videos obsessively, you have that leverage to, okay, you've learned so many things, you can go and talk about them on LinkedIn, and then eventually, you either make some really cool friends and a really cool like networking circle, and you can also land some really cool clients. So time is everything. Use it wisely. I don't know how many years you have left of university, but if I was you, after this talk, I would actually go ahead and draft your first LinkedIn post, because LinkedIn is getting saturated and people are starting to find out how good it is. The organic potential LinkedIn has is unmatched. So please, go ahead, write your first LinkedIn post, and who knows, one of you might go viral like I did. Cool.
So I have a question. It's a bit like we talked about different. So let's say you have a business in a field which you're maybe good at. For me, it's sport in a certain sense. But at the same time, it's not what my personal brand would be about. Do you reckon I should create a specific company account for sport and post only on that company account about like running and sport, and on my personal, for example, about programming or other thing I'm passionate, or should I merge the two in my personal brand?
Try to merge the two. I think the moment you introduce a second variable to the equation, everything gets a bit too confusing. If you have two accounts but you're not even posting on one, that's going to have a lot of friction on you. So try to find a way to merge the two things into your personal brand, so one thing and the other. Usually there's a way to connect them both, and then build from there. But please try to avoid company pages, try to avoid building all the accounts from zero just because one of them is not working. Focus on building one, only one. The rule of one again, one thing, one problem, one solution, one platform. For 3 months, you could literally, make so much of a difference. Any more questions? No.
I'm just interested, do you mind touching upon, say if you do have a call with a client and they don't have much LinkedIn presence, maybe they're looking to get into it, they've heard from one of their good friends that this is the platform to go to. How do you go about approaching that? What sort of things do you look for? What questions do you ask to try and get them to that next level?
Yeah, for them to work with me?
Yeah, exactly. If someone was going to work with you. You've already closed them, but how do you take their LinkedIn presence to the next level?
Okay, that's cool. That's a really good question. So what I actually did to build the agency was from personal branding. So what I would do is I would get a really good client. Please don't focus on getting clients that meet your criteria. If you work with people that you don't want to work with, they actually tend to be a pain in the ass. You will want to quit your business. So please focus on interviewing, like understanding what your client's ideal client is, because it would have saved me so much time and money and tears if I knew who my actual client was. Then how I build the presence on LinkedIn is very easy. If you're going for a founder that's like a 7-8 figure executive founder, which there's so many on LinkedIn, by the way, building an agency business is the best way to make money online, I think. So you get a client that's got a bunch of experience, and then you interview them for an hour like it's a podcast. Founders love talking about themselves, and it's really fun. And then you get a 2-for-1 because you're interviewing them, you're getting content ideas, and also they're giving you free coaching. This is one of the unfair advantages from building an agency. You're getting free coaching from people that would charge $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 for their time for free, and they're paying you. So that's the first thing. So interview them. Then kind of like understand basic LinkedIn stuff. All of you already have the leverage that you've been on social media your entire life. So you know how to post content online. You understand what a good hook looks like. If you don't know what a good hook looks like, you know how to use Google, and you know how to use TikTok. You go, oh, how to write a good hook. If you go on TikTok right now, it'll give you 5 hooks immediately. It's so easy. Then you take that content that you recorded with your client, and then you turn it into posts. So you ask them different questions, obviously come prepared. You can ask them 10 questions. How did you start your business? What made the most impact? What is the purpose behind your business? What are your main hobbies? Why is this thing that you're doing so effective? What are your main failures? Why are you doing the thing you're doing? There's so many different questions that you probably already have for them anyway, so you might as well ask them and turn them into content. Then you post on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Educational content drives LinkedIn. Storytelling content drives LinkedIn. You merge them both. You create a content strategy for a month, and that's it. It's super simple. But the reason why founders don't do it is not because they think it's hard, it's because they don't have time. Again, you either pay with your time or you pay with your money. Founders pay with your money, you're paying with your time because you're doing all the learning for them, you're doing all the testing and iterating for them. I built my own personal brand first to understand how to build on the platform, what are the best tips and tricks, what are the best hacks, how does the algorithm really work, but the algorithm is the algorithm, and the only thing you should be focusing on is like human behavior mostly. Algorithms change all the time, so don't focus too much on that. But it's important to understand, okay, carousels are working right now. Last year they weren't working that well. Infographics are working today. Okay, how can we make an infographic for my ideal client, and then go from there.
Fab.
I gave you all the silence. I expect one of you to build an agency from this.
Do you have any client red flags? Something that you look out for and you're like, I'm not going to work with this?
Yes, right now I do. I learned the very hard way that if a client is very needy, they have a lot of time in their hands. They'll be very nitpicky about what you do. When it comes to service-based businesses, the more distance the client is from what you're doing, the better, because you can actually go ahead and implement when you know what you're doing. If the client is calling you up on a weekend and be like, where is the post? They have no boundaries, they probably have too much time in their hands, and they're probably going to make you cry. They made me cry, so that's one of the red flags. The second red flag is if they don't pay on time. If someone doesn't pay you on time, what I've learned is that they don't respect you enough. Clients that respect you and they want to truly work with you, they'll pay you on time, they won't complain, and they won't question you and things. The moment a client questions you on your ability to do the thing that they hired you for, it's game over. It's really hard to fire clients because you're leaving money on the table. But what I learned is that when you let go of clients that are draining you, more clients will come. I remember the first client I fired who was paying me $2,000 for a retainer per month. I was like, that's crazy. I was like in my room over there. I was like, oh, I'm boiling. But then I hated it. I hated every single second. I was crying. I was thinking about it all day. I couldn't figure out. I thought I was stupid. He made me feel dumb. I'm not dumb. I knew what I was doing, but he thought he could do what I was doing even better. So then that's a red flag because you don't want to work with people that think they can do what you're doing better because they'll never be satisfied. So you need to find clients that are okay with testing new things out, that they're not draining you, and then they're like, okay, you take the wheels, I will implement and we'll see how it goes.
From what I can kind of gauge, your business model is pretty much limited to what you can provide to a client. What's your plan for the next 5 years to kind of grow it to something that can produce passive income?
Yeah, so I built the agency and then I kind of burnt out because I was like, I can't do this for 10 clients. I worked my way to 12 clients and then that was it, I couldn't do it anymore. Then I built the agency, I tried to hire people, but to my shock, I became an entrepreneur because I didn't want to lead people. So then I hired people and then I was leading them and then I was like, oh wait, that's not the point of what I'm doing. So I burnt the agency down, I turned my agency into a one-person agency, one-person business, solopreneurship, back again, and then I was like, okay, I'm capping my clients. So there's two things I did. I increased my prices to a very heavy retainer because there was a lot of interest already, so I could charge more, which was an advantage of building a personal brand. And the thing I'm doing now is I'm scaling to one-to-many, so I built a course. I'm that typical guru now. It's $997 for anyone that wants to buy it. And that's coaching to one-to-many, that's the main thing. I'm doing a lot of webinars, I'm doing a lot of corporate speaking. The real money on LinkedIn is on corporate speaking B2B because businesses have a lot of marketing budget to spend on brands or anything else. So the more I focus on that, the more I'm able to scale the business. And now I'm doing YouTube, which is allowing me to do more speaking at other conferences and doing what I actually love doing. Yeah.
Did you have a question? Final point before we wrap up. I wanted to, because everyone's made the time out their evening to come and they've taken action, which is fantastic. But when they do go and they write that first LinkedIn post, or maybe they feel like it's embarrassing or writing is difficult or no one wants to hear what they're saying, they will experience a certain amount of imposter syndrome. And I imagine yourself, you probably may still get it. So what kind of tips or pointers would you say to try and overcome that and take that first step and continue moving forwards?
There's two types of of people probably in this room, there's people that are getting imposter syndrome and will continue to get it. I'm still one of them. And there's other people that the more experience you get under your belt, the more confident you are in your own skill set. So there's two. I have a lot of experience and I have a lot of, wins in my back, but I still get imposter syndrome because on social media, I keep on comparing myself to, oh, that person is doing so much better than me. That guy is 18 and making millions from Snapchat. Oh, what the fuck am I doing with my life? But then, when you think about imposter syndrome, just turn that emotion into motivation to keep on going harder onto like what you're doing. So every time I feel I start questioning myself, I do a lot of self-reflection on why is this making me feel this way? Do I lack skill? Okay, I'm gonna go and learn that skill that I think I'm lacking. So you turn bad emotions into fuel for like whatever else you're doing. And then as a last thing, like you said, download LinkedIn if you don't have it. Post your first LinkedIn post tomorrow. A few things you can do. You can do a case study on what you're doing right now. You can do a post on this talk and what you learned. You can do a post on yourself and your story, what your mission is. Hi, my name is Harry, and I'm building a brand on food things. Here's how I'm planning to do it. Here's a photo of me. That's the best thing you guys could do right now. LinkedIn could change your life. I've seen it happen with me. I've seen it happen to so many people, and it could be you. So please post tomorrow.
Fab. Can we have a huge round of applause for Lara?